Hello, welcome. My name is Lynette Mattina, and today I'm going to share some stretches for tight shoulders, chest, and upper back, and just to relieve tension in the upper body. So most of us spend a lot of time on a computer or on a mobile device or sitting and slouching on a daily basis. So these are great to counter some of those poor postural habits that we develop in our everyday life and activities. So we're going to begin with some diaphragmatic breathing, and then we're going to use the wall. So if you don't have a wall space close to you, make sure you find some wall space that you can stretch your arms out wide. That's handy so you can practice this. So we're going to begin again with some diaphragmatic breathing, and the diaphragmatic breathing is essential to improve mobility and stability, and just improve posture and alignment. So we'll begin with that. And just keeping in mind too that our diaphragm is our primary breathing muscle, and we often become like chest breathers and use our accessory muscles to do the role of our diaphragm, and that tends to create a lot of tension in the neck and shoulders and upper back as well. So we get to, when we breathe optimally, diaphragmatically, all these muscles get to rest. So let's start with just placing your hands on your rib cage. You just kind of thumbs in the back, and the rest of your fingers just go forward, just cupping around the rib cage. And then, so an optimal diaphragmatic breath involves an even 360-degree expansion in the rib cage. So that's what I want you to focus on. See if you can relax the shoulders, and maybe you close your eyes or cast your eyes down just to so you close off any visual stimulation. And then just bring your attention to your breath and just follow the air in through your nose, and see if you can expand. As you do, see if you can expand the rib cage side to side, front to back, and top to bottom. And then let your exhalation be long and slow. We're just going to take about 4 more breaths like that. Inhale to evenly expand the ribs. Long, slow breath out to feel a sense of release. If you notice that your breath is primarily in the upper body and you're not feeling some mobility through the rib cage, this is a practice that I would encourage you to do daily. Until you can start to create new patterns of breathing that are optimal and that are more healthy for you and your body. So one more like that. There's so many benefits from the diaphragmatic breathing. And now allow your body to find its natural rhythm of breathing. And so we'll start with just a little warm up before we go to the wall. So you'll begin with placing, you can interlace your hands, and you'll place them on the back of your head, the base of your skull. And then you want to gently press the base of your skull into your hand so you start to feel the back of the neck lengthen, and there's a little lifting of the skull, and the chin moves down. So we're activating some of the deep neck stabilizers. And then move your elbows back as your shoulder blades draw toward your spine. And now we're going to reverse this. So now your elbows move forward and together as your chin moves down, shoulder blades move apart. We'll do that again. Elbows back, press the hands or the base of the skull into the hands, shoulder blades move toward each other, and reverse. Let's do 3 more like that. Just move with the natural rhythm of your breath here. See if you can breathe fluidly, and move with ease. Or maybe you find that there's not a whole lot of easeful movement right now, but that's what we want to work toward. The last one. And then to bring your arms down by your side. So just get some circulation, blood flow into the upper body. And then you're going to come to the wall. So we're going to practice mountain pose, which is a great pose to enhance alignment and really improve the connection, the mind-body connection, and just the optimal alignment. So you'll step your heels maybe, let's say approximately 3 to 6 inches away from the wall, just depending on what you need. Just get a sense of that. Feet are about frontal hip bone width apart. And then you want your, the back of your hips. You want to feel the back of your pelvis on the wall. We want to keep the lumbar curve intact. So if you slide your hands back there, you'll feel some space between your hands or the wall and your back. And then above that, we have the rib cage. So see if you can move the rib cage toward the wall as well. And that seems to be hard for people because we tend to, some people tend to jut the rib cage forward and lose this optimal alignment. So if you can, just bring the lower ribs back into the wall, and then bring the back of your shoulders, the shoulder blades against the wall. Palms forward. So this is the mountain pose in yoga. The base of your skull, center of the back of your head, is against the wall. So if you get here and you find that you can't find this neutral alignment, and your chin and the upper body, so the chin starts to lift as best you can, you want to guide the chin down a little bit so you're not reinforcing this forward head posture that affects everything down the kinetic chain. So base of the skull back of the shoulders, back of the ribs as best you can, back of the pelvis, and feet firmly pressed into the ground. And let's take a breath in and breath out. So this is your ideal posture. Just notice what this feels like in your body. This can be used as an exercise, as a reminder of ideal alignment, and really to keep things going. And maintaining the natural curve of your back also facilitates deep core function. So many benefits from finding this neutral alignment. And then from here, we're going to begin to explore wall angels. So from wall angels, you're going to keep that alignment against the wall as best you can. And then you're going to start to, you might have done snow angels before, so this might be a little familiar to you. And you're going to now keep the elbows and the hands against the wall. So this is also working on some strengthening. I love using the wall because it's a great way to develop some neuromuscular feedback. So you're just going to bend the elbows and see if you can work toward reaching the fingertips toward each other. And then slowly let's come back down. So we're going to do about maybe 6 to 8 of these. So inhale, that's going to help to expand the rib cage. It's going to help the mobility, bring some freedom through the shoulder blades. This is a lot harder. This is hard for me. I tend to be really tight through the upper chest, which a lot of people are, so you might find that as well. The more you practice this, the easier it gets, and you start to feel a little more flexibility through the upper body. And notice just where, if you're moving away from the wall, notice where you tend to do that. Where are your compensation patterns? Good, let's do 2 more. Noticing the ribs, or your ribs jutting forward, can you keep them back, or your elbows moving away from the wall? And if you start to feel a lot of that, then I wouldn't go up as high. I would stop when you start feeling that compensation, especially if it's extreme, and then work with that. So you kind of have to meet yourself at your current level, and then build on that. Build the repetitions, increase the range of motion. So you don't want to compromise the integrity of your structures here. And then last one, bring your arms down and just let your arms hang by your side, and take a moment to just notice how that feels in your body, just how your shoulders feel, your upper back, your chest. And then we're going to step away from the wall. And so now you're going to come to face the wall sideways, and you're going to place your hand on the wall about shoulder width. And then we're going to come into first stretching the front of the shoulder and the chest. So you're going to walk forward, and as you do that, you're going to turn your fingertips behind you. So you're going to turn your fingertips back, and then you're going to walk up to the wall, so your side body moves against the wall. You're going to get as close as you can. You're going to reach your fingertips away from your shoulder. Feel your hip against the wall, your chest. So maybe the rib cage is just moving toward the wall as well. And as you gently press your hand and your arm into the wall, see if you can just move your chest away from the wall. So you want to feel some pulling. If you feel if it's so intense that you've lost or you're compromised your breath, and of course that you're compensating a lot here, then ease up a little bit. Maybe you stay away from the wall and back off a little bit. So really honor what you need. You don't want to push through pain. And then see if you can just find a neutral neck too, so your neck is nice and long. So we'll stay here. Now let's stay here for a few breaths. Now inhale to move your breath into your side ribs, especially on the side that's against the wall. So see if you can expand the space between the ribs, the armpit. Let your exhalation be long and slow. 2 more like that. Inhale. Using the breath to mobilize any tight places. Just notice how the breath too, it elicits the relaxation response. Mitigates pain. So many benefits. And then now you're going to step away from the wall. And now you're going to slide, you're going to come back and then turn your fingertips point upward. And now you're going to walk toward the wall, side body toward the wall as you reach up the wall. So come as close as you can to the wall. And keep reaching up. So neck is neutral, so bring your ear, the side of your head, toward your arm. And then as you reach up with your fingertips, notice the space between your fingertips and your foot. And now let's take 3 to 5 breaths here. Inhale to expand. See if you can even move your rib cage toward the wall. Let your breath move your rib cage toward the wall. Feel like you need to move away before kind of ease up at any point. Just step back away from the wall. Maybe that's your max today. And now let's slowly go ahead and step away from the wall. Slide your hand down. And now your hand is shoulder height. And now reach your right arm up. We're going to come into a side bend. So reach the opposite arm up toward the sky so you feel the shoulder blade lift, the armpit lifts, the rib cage lifts, and then you're going to come into your side bend. So maybe you bend your elbow just slightly, but you want to try to keep it somewhat straight. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale to expand. Visualize that expansion. So today we're going to hold these 3 to 5 breaths. Know that you can hold them longer, or if you need to go a little shorter as you start to improve your mobility. Maybe you can even work toward reaching your fingertips toward to touch the wall. And then now we'll come out of that. All right, and then relax the arms. Just notice any difference between the right shoulder and the left. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to face the other way so you'll see this from the other direction. So we'll start with hand, shoulder width apart, or shoulder height. And then you're going to turn your fingers back as you walk your side body toward the wall. Press your arm into the wall as you gently turn your chest away from the wall. Your side hip is touching the wall, and your feet, your outer edge of your foot is as close to the wall as you can get. Neck is long. See if you can relax the opposite shoulder. Breath in to expand the rib cage that's toward the wall. Long, slow breath out. A few more like that. Now you'll step away from the wall and slide your fingertips upward. Walk your body close to the wall. Same thing here. Keep reaching up the wall. Get as close to it as you can and feel that space between your fingertips and the outer edge of your foot. Find your breath. Stay here. 3 full breaths. Imagine moving your breath into those places that feel restricted. And then you're going to step away from the wall. Hand is shoulder height. We're going to come into the side bend, maybe just a soft bend in your elbow. Reach your left arm up, or the opposite arm up toward the sky. Rib cage lifts up away from your pelvis as you come into your side bend. As you gently turn your chest up toward the sky, find your breath. Maybe you look straight ahead, or you rotate your head toward the sky. You find a place where you feel some freedom through your neck. Back to your breath. One more breath here. And then you come out it. All right, so we have one more, and this is the Elk Pose. So what you're going to do here is you're going to place your hands on the wall. And then you're going to begin to step back. So ideally, we want to make an L shape with our body. That may not happen today, but we're working toward that. So fingertips are pointing up and maybe just a little wider than your shoulders. You're going to firmly press your hands into the ground, into the wall, as you press your hips back and then your feet down. And so maybe here, so I'm realizing I need to go a little down a little more. So I'm pressing into the wall. Sending my hips back, pressing down through my feet. Knees are slightly bent. And then notice what's happening in your spine. So you want to maintain the natural curves of your spine here. Notice if you tend to arch your back and your tailbone is lifted, or maybe you're tucking under. Can you find that middle ground there where you keep the lumbar curve intact? So you feel, and again, that alignment facilitates deep core function to support the structures through the hips, the spine. Take a full breath in, moving your breath laterally through the rib cage, from the back to front, top to bottom. 2 more breaths here. To just your standing mountain pose, just to reconnect to your breath and just to sense observe and sense what it feels like through your neck, your shoulders, your upper back. Notice if you're standing tall or if one side feels different than the other. So this is a practice that you can do daily. All you need is a wall. So it's perfect to improve posture, alignment, and ease tension and tightness through the upper body. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how it goes. Thank you for joining me.